knows how to put little pieces in little places to make it just perfect. And that I love about him.
He's calm, he thinks about what he's going to do, and he makes the right decisions for the right project.
He has the soul of an artist, and so he just happens to work in plant material and in 3 dimensions. He's the best I've ever worked with.
The best thing about working with Greg is what it looks like when he's done. He wants every blade of grass to be right, every leaf of every shrub to be right, and quite frankly, that's the way it looks when he's done.
He understood creatively how to deal with the problems in the garden and what to do with it, I thought, in quite a creative way.
Well, I create positive living environments. I mean, this is what I do. It's who I am. Andy has a wonderful project. As a developer, he's tearing down a house, putting up a brand new one.
Greg's been part of the project from the beginning, and we would call him and make decisions as we were coming out of the ground, giving us ideas, and here we are.
And this house is to sell. That's what's going on. And to get that house sold, its curb appeal is the first thing. And they're going to look at square footage, they're going to look at how it fills the lot, they're going to look at today's lifestyle and all of it. But when they first show up to that house, they have to say, oh, I love this. And his architecture is beautiful, but it has to sit into the land, and it has to make sense for that neighborhood.
He's got enough experience in doing what he does, on working on very many different projects and different architecture, and he knows the type of landscaping that goes with that type of architecture, which is very important.
Working with Andy was wonderful because he listened to all my suggestions about stone and walls and setting the house into the landscape. So he'd always say, well, I have to ask you these questions because it's your landscape, and I want to make sure that my house looks good in your landscape. Landscape's not separate from the house. It's all one big design element, and since we're starting from scratch, we could put it all together, which is kind of rare.
I'm looking forward to doing more work with Gregory because he's more like a friend. When you work with Gregory, it's like working with a friend. That's how I feel.
The great thing about working with Greg is simply his vision and then the execution of that vision.
This is the amazing transformation from the horse stables that used to be here and the derelict house they put in the 60s that we had torn down. This family wanted to have a park for the kids and their entertaining, and we've called it Blum Park.
With Greg, you are never going to lack ideas and sort of a vision of the future. He may exhaust you a little bit because he has more ideas than you would think of, and you have to go through every one of them because you realize everyone's probably good. But when all is said and done, he cleans it up. It looks exactly like he promised it would look, with absolutely no hitches, and quite frankly has a connection to the work that he does that you realize you can rely on him to come back and fix things up later.
One of the things that I find that families value is creating a home environment where their kids can invite their friends over to the house. So parents get to have their kids grow up and play in the home environment, not out where they don't know what's going on. So providing a really good play environment through all stages of the kid's life allows that to go on in the home. And some parents really value that. And I help create that.
Greg specifically engineered the changes and the evolution of this garden so that it matched my perspectives and my needs.
It was really wonderful working with Leslie Sachs because he's an art dealer and he's got all this beautiful artwork. Some of it hangs on walls and some of it is sculpture and it's outdoor. It's designed to be outdoors or indoors. But looking at all his sculptures and then looking at his beautiful yard, it just seemed to make so much more sense to have those pieces out there in the garden and along the pathways. And we turned a significant portion of his yard into a part of his life. He lives his art gallery, and now his art gallery is where he lives. And it turned out beautiful.
It really developed into something quite fantastic.
One of the things I loved is that Gina is very into her gardening and wants to create this resource of vegetables that are all organic because she cooks a macrobiotic diet for Leslie. So there are traditional Korean herbs and fruit that we all found that aren't available at most nurseries. And for them to be able to have vegetables and fruit and things at all the different kinds of the year that she can create with this macrobiotic diet she cooks is very unique. And listening to them and understanding that this is not just a regular garden, this is a very interesting garden with a very interesting diet, created something that was unique just for them.
This to me is my ideal place, the pinnacle of everything I want. It's a most fabulous garden. It has the privacy, the feng shui, the intimacy, the qualities I'm looking for. It allows me to express myself and basically take in all the good energies, the good feelings of the area. And to me, it's a place where I'm happy to grow old quietly and contentedly. It was better than I thought, and I will enjoy it more than I thought.
A client who knows exactly what they want doesn't need me. They can hire workers to do what it is that they say, but to bring me in to help interpret so they know that they want something. They know there's certain elements that are important to them, but they need somebody who's really professional, who really has an understanding of listening to them and the unique siting of their property to be able to create something that's better than they could imagine.
I'm just looking forward to enjoying my garden, and it has been a pleasure to deal with.